20 HMT घड़ियाँ, एक AI, and the results will shock you. Tick, tick, boom. This is TheWatchWallah, and this is episode 2 on this channel, where आज हम जज कर रहे हैं मेरी पूरी HMT collection of 20 watches, जिसमें कि 2 watches मेरी parents को belong करती हैं, and I am going to ask Claude AI to rate my entire collection. 5 parameters, what the rating will be, and the results genuinely surprise me. मेरी कलेक्शन में कुछ घड़ियाँ 2000 की हैं और कुछ 21,000 तक. 5 पैरामीटर्स, 20 घड़ियाँ, और रिजल्ट्स ऐसे थे जो मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर भी रहा था और ज़्यादातर नहीं भी कर रहा था. एंड द नंबर 1 रैंक्ड वॉच इज़ नॉट व्हाट यू वुड एक्सपेक्ट. वो रिवील होगी एंड में, so stick around if you want to see it. 1961, India is just 14 years free. Swiss watches afford नहीं होती थी. जापानीज ब्रांड इंडिया में थे नहीं. तब एक कंपनी उठती है, हिंदुस्तान मशीन टूल्स, और कहती है इंडिया deserves its own watch made here by Indian hands. Jawaharlal Nehru personally released the first batch of HMT watches. The then इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर वॉचेस रिलीज कर रहे थे. इतना इम्पोर्टेंट था ये. पीक पे HMT made 1 crore watches per year. 1 crore in India by Indian workers in Bengaluru. The first watch, HMT Galaxy Quartz. One of the cheapest watches in my collection, but it gets the job done. Simple, elegant, classic. Champagne dial that looks beautiful on a close-up. This is a C tier. The second watch, HMT Jubilee. Parashock 17 joules. HMT की classic, hand-wound mechanical movement. Acrylic crystal, stainless steel body, a custom leather strap. Cheap, simple, but gets the job done. The transparent case back shows simplicity and elegance in one go. And apart from this Jubilee, many of my watches in my collection are from Watchcopia. So they do also carry the same hand-wound 17 joules mechanical movement. If we talk about the leather strap, this is of size 18 from my good friends at Time Point East, Pitampura. You can just adjust the time by pulling out the crown and by pushing it in and winding it again. This is a TSC. The second watch, HMT Janata Devanagari. Similar specs, but the dial is of a solid green color. आप यहाँ पे देख रहे होंगे कि unfortunately the spring has broken. I have not worn this watch many a times because I'm not a fan of the green dial particularly. If this were a sunburst blue, I would have enjoyed this watch a lot more. This has the same strap that comes from Watchcopia. It's simple, cheap, gets the job done. Nothing fancy, but it's something that you would enjoy wearing on your wrist. This is a C tier. Now, one of the most hyped watches from HMT a couple of years ago, the HMT Himalaya, in white and green sunburst dials. Quartz movement, day and date window, fluted bezel, a stainless steel bracelet, stainless steel case back. For its price at around a couple of thousand of rupees, this is a wonderful watch you can buy. The bracelet does look very premium, but once you hold the watch you realize it does not have any weight. It looks good, but it doesn't feel good while wearing it. The watch hands are beautifully done. The indices as well have a blue color on the white version and a white color on the green version. Personally speaking, I'm a fan of the white version because this goes on almost any clothing combination. I purchased this watch from the official HMT website a couple of years ago when these watches were in stock, and surprisingly, they are not anymore. You can find them on grey market at a cheap price, but again, it all depends on their condition. Does the seller have the box and papers? Or are you willing to take a gamble and just looking to buy this watch? This is a watch for someone who loves simplicity, who loves elegance, who loves things that go well in life. The white and blue color is a classic combination, and it goes well with the stainless steel or silver look. Now, the sunburst green dial. I'm not personally a fan of the green dial a lot, but just on this particular variant. And apologies, on the scorecard you might have seen it has hand-wound movement. Both of these watches are quartz movement. Same specs, same fluted bezel, bracelet. The only difference is the dial color. The crown functions quite similarly, so one push means you can adjust the date and day, and the second push adjusts the time. Now let's look at when does the day and date change. बारह बजे के पास आते ही the date changes. The day changes at around 2:10 a.m. with hacking available. This is a TSC. Now, the HMT Pilot. This is a graph paper dial with big numerics written around the watch. Acrylic crystal, classic hand-wound movement. HMT did release a very recent or a rather 1 year ago recent, or a rather recent automatic version of the HMT Pilot, which unfortunately I couldn't get my hands on, and personally speaking, I did not enjoy the look of the watch. The dials were too big, and I personally did not like spending too much money on a watch that I would not enjoy wearing. Apart from the watch itself, this also has a custom leather strap with a square cut edge, which looks beautiful, and this is one of the leather straps that just glides when you wear it. The watch works similarly. While you push the crown, you can adjust the time. You push it in, and you can wind the watch to set the time. I wish the second hand were made of a red color stainless steel material rather than the plastic one that we see. Movement बिल्कुल same है, the classic 17 joules movement, which you can enjoy through this transparent case back. This watch is a TSE. Now, the HMT Commando. Again, a watch that was a recent release from the modern day HMT, and I personally feel a bit offended by this watch's name, Commando. When you think of the word commando, you think of special forces, you think of someone who is at the top of the food chain, someone who has done it all, and someone who is the toughest, most rugged person ever alive. Ironically, this watch is not properly water resistant. This is just having a 3 bar or 30 meter water resistance. Ideally, this watch shouldn't even be called a commando. The leather strap is very big with the huge watch buckles. Apart from that, the watch does not feature anything special that classifies itself as a commando watch. It's not rugged, it doesn't have any sapphire crystal. The loom itself is also mediocre. Little to none water resistance. I would say the best description of a commando watch would be a G-Shock. But this is a watch that you buy for an experience. It's a watch that's there for the looks, unfortunately. The dial is of a solid olive green, the commando badging at 6 o'clock. Red second hands with sharp hour and minute indices. This is a CATI watch. Now, one of the most famous watches, the HMT Janata. Classic silver sunburst dial. One of the most iconic watches made in India by an Indian watchmaker. This is the watch that set the precedence of Indian watchmaking many, many moons ago. Unfortunately, we are living in a historical bubble, or seeing history through a lens and not living through it. This is also a custom watch that I got from my good friends at Watchcopia. Similar movement, just like you saw on the previous watches. Nothing spectacular, but it gets the job done. It's simple, elegant, meaningful, and a little history lesson on your wrist. The leather strap is also custom. This is the HMT Gotham, the mechanical version. A classic retro watch. Champagne dial, neat and clean indices. ये वॉच देख के आप कहेंगे कि ये तो दादाजी की वॉच लगती है, बट आई टेंड टू डिसएग्री. Unique hexagonal dial, similar to the HMT Kailash. The Gotham deserves a kudos based on how it looks, a retro classic marvel. Transparent, see-through case back. And I would let you wear the same HMT ka Chan Wala bracelet. I tried to find a replacement bracelet for this, but unfortunately the bracelet size appears to be around 16 to 18. So it was quite difficult to find something that matches with the dial color. Despite that, this is a watch I tend to wear sometimes because it is, a lack of a better word, very retro. This is a Tier B watch. Now, the HMT Kohinoor. This is a mechanical version, the same Parashock 17 joules, bezel dial, sunburst blue color, the specs however remain ideally the same as before. Acrylic crystal, stainless steel body, hand-wound mechanical movement, the only difference being how this watch looks. But मेरा एक controversial take है इस पे. HMT Kohinoor is supposed to be the crown jewel, mountain of light. Just like हमारे जहन में, हमारे मन में, और in our minds we have an image that Kohinoor is supposed to be the largest diamond ever found in India or perhaps in the world. But this watch does not match that description. it's nowhere near a flagship masterpiece that HMT has. I would say, as a starter, this is a great watch you can buy. Simple, elegant, goes well on the wrist. But of course, the bracelet does deserve some bit of love. So if you have a Kohinoor with you right now, I would say get an upgraded steel bracelet or get a leather strap. This is a Tier B watch. Now, the HMT Kanchan, famously known as the dowry watch. People used to line up outside the stores to get this watch, even getting letters of recommendations from famous politicians. That's a classic watch with a meaning and purpose that this has a historical significance, very much like the HMT Janata and the HMT Kohinoor. This is a stainless steel body with a gold color stainless steel bracelet. Of course, over a period of time, this gold will wear off, but the dial itself is very unique. Stainless steel bracelet. Stainless steel case back. A dome-shaped crystal. And very interesting placement of the indices, the second hand, and the minute and hour hand. It has the day and date window. This is a Tier A watch. Now, one of the coolest watches that I could get my hands on from the HMT website. The HMT NAS 12. A TV dial with a TV-shaped case with a textured dial. The same stainless steel bracelet that you see every time, unfortunately. Day and date window. But this watch screams something that's not present in any other watches so far. And it is small presence but bigger impact. This is one of the best sleeper hits from my collection so far. An underappreciated watch. And something that you should get your hands on if you get the time. The day and date functions almost identically to the other watches. Nothing special, nothing screaming about this watch that deserves an attention, but somehow it does catch your eye because of its uniqueness. This is a Tier A watch. Now we're moving up the ladder into the special categories. This is the HMT Rajat, a crystal similar to the HMT Kanchan which you just saw. This one has a sunburst dial, Tiffany blue. This watch was around 7,000 rupees at the time when I had purchased from the HMT store. And I personally believe this is the best, if not one of the best designed watches. The bracelet itself screams quality. With the right adjustment for your wrist, this bracelet just fits seamlessly. And it doesn't feel cheap on your wrist either. This is a watch that you can wear in high-profile meetings, or if you're meeting someone special, or just to have that luxury presence on your wrist. This is a Tier S watch. Now, the HMT Kedar, or some people would like to call it the poor man's Rado Diascar. And I don't disagree. The only difference is that in the Rado Diascar, the placement of the day and date window is at 6 o'clock, whereas the HMT in its classic fashion has placed the day and date window at 3 o'clock. It's an automatic movement, gets the job done. After wearing it for a couple of days, you would notice that the time is off by a couple of minutes. The crystal seamlessly integrates with the watch case itself, and this also has a custom leather strap, because I believe the standard bracelet did not feel good with this watch. The dial color is of silver, it's textured, it has a character, but personally speaking, ये बहुत ज़्यादा mix हो जाता है. It blends with the watch case altogether. Personally speaking, I had checked the green sunburst version of this particular watch online on YouTube. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my hands on it because it was out of stock. If you can, I would insist you buy this watch in the green color rather than the standard silver. And it is a watch that you will come to appreciate over a period of time. This is an SK watch. HMT झलक. झलक, a peak, sight. क्या डिस्क्राइब करें और कैसे डिस्क्राइब करें इसको? I think this is one of the best designed dials that HMT has ever made. If you look closely, पूरे डायल के इनर पेरीमीटर में ब्लैक कलर से एक ब्यूटीफुल इनले का काम कर रखा है. रोमन न्यूमरल्स में वॉच के इंडिसेस हैं. लाइकवाइज गोल्डन न्यूमरल्स के जस्ट नीचे गोल्डन डॉट्स दे के आर इंडिसेस को मार्क किया गया है. जस्ट लीविंग इनफ रूम फॉर द 8 to the 10 o'clock टाइम. जहाँ से आप वॉच के इंटरनल को एक झलक से देख सकते हैं. This is one of the watches that I had to try harder to get my hands on because these watches are very rare. As you read in the description, it's a hand-wound mechanical watch. The crown itself is quite small, so I would insist that whenever you are wearing this watch, you cannot adjust or manually wind the crown quite easily. The only thing that I would change in this watch would be the hour, minute and second hands, because the golden second hand with stainless steel black finish hour and minute hands would look much more sleeker and better. The watch has come in a suede strap, which is aftermarket, but I think this is a watch every HMT collector should get their hands on. TRS. Now, coming to the most expensive HMT in my collection. Standing at 21,000 rupees to get my hands on this particular piece. The HMT Pinaki. One of the rarest watches that any collector can get their hands on. Similar to the Rolex Day Date version, the center has a guilloche gal which is textured. Looks quite good and gets your attention. The watch has a custom strap. Unfortunately, I could not get my hands on the original golden stainless steel bracelet. This watch was manufactured in the year 1997 based on my understanding of the watch caseback. Although the watch is quite decent, I do feel that the crown itself is not very smooth, and by that I mean you can adjust the date quite easily, but to adjust the day you literally have to move the clock 24 hours manually every time. And the day and the date shifts around 12:30 a.m. This is a watch you should enjoy with the leather strap. A classic on your wrist. S plus tier. Now the star of the show, the HMT Skeller Open Heart. And this is a watch that I purchased on a hunch from the HMT website a few years ago. And now this particular model is out of stock. The white dial and golden watch case version. Although the Tiffany blue and especially the saffron dial is the rarest, I think this watch deserves a special attention because of its colored rotors, beautiful mechanics, and an HMT made transparent case back. And if you look closely, you can look at the pallet forks ticking and telling the time. The watch originally comes with a sort of orange brownish leather strap, which in my opinion do not look good. And if you are wearing or matching it with a brown belt or brown leather shoes, the strap looks absolutely ridiculous. This is a strap that I got aftermarket, and now just because of the strap, the watch has elevated its status to the next level. Now I will let you enjoy this particular watch. This is an SK watch. बहुत सारे लोगों की तरह हमारे मॉम डैड के पास भी HMTs पक्का होंगे. If you look in any drawer या cupboard या फिर अलमीरा के अंदर, you will find an ancient HMT that is not working, that might have rust, that will have foreign substances being kept to its stainless steel bracelet. But these watches are quite special to me. These are the common people's watch. And this watch was my dad's watch, the HMT Gotham quartz version. I remember 2002, 2003 mein my dad used to wear this watch. And I used to think, that's fine. It's an okay looking watch. What's so special about it? But now, almost 20, 25 years later, इस वॉच की एक अहमियत पता चली है कि this watch may look quite common, but this was the watch that my dad wore during his years of success. उनके उस सालों में जब वो अपना करियर बना रहे थे, एक फैमिली का ध्यान रख रहे थे. मेरी मॉम का और मेरा ध्यान रख रहे थे। एट द टाइम जिस समय को मैं कोई अहमियत नहीं देता था। प्लेग्राउंड में खेलना, घर आना, ट्यूशन जाना, फिर घर आके खेलना एंड देन सो जाना। This watch was special. Now, the HMT Anurag. This was my mom's watch. और मैंने अपनी मम्मी की रिस्ट पे ये वॉच बहुत बार देखी थी when she used to go to school to teach students. इतने सालों बाद पता चला कि this is a mechanical watch for ladies. And कमाल की बात यह है that even today I can still see the mechanics working. If I wind the watch a couple of times, you can see the second hands moving. But just like time, things break. They get old, they get obsolete. But even with this seemingly old, unimportant watch, I do feel I'm holding a piece of history. I am holding a piece in my hand that tells the story of my mom. Apart from this stainless scale, you will find something interesting as well. ये जो आप देख रहे हैं, this is not dirt. These are actual dead skin cells. Yes, dead skin cells of my mom. Which might look and sound very disgusting, but you have to think. हमारे मेहनती पेरेंट्स जब भी ऑफिस में या स्कूल जाते थे या दुकान जाते थे या कोई भी काम करते थे, they would wear this watch on their wrist, carry on with their days, come back home, take off the watch, and then rinse and repeat till the day they got retired or till the day we as kids took their responsibility. So right now I'm not just holding a watch, I'm holding a piece of history. I'm holding literally my mom's blood, sweat and tears in my hands. Final score, you can't really do it. It's priceless, in my opinion. This is the overall scoring from Claude AI for all the watches in my collection. Pause the screen and आप आराम से notes पढ़ सकते हैं. Now, this video took a really long time to record, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share and subscribe and follow to TheWatchWallah. I'll see you soon. Tick, tick, boom. Jai Hind.